Zerebro, yesterday's high flyer, is crashing today. Now what's happening? Who's buying and who's specifically selling? Let's have a look at some on-chain metrics to figure out whether or not it makes sense to get into this dip. Now we are currently at 7.7 cents, down 21.5%. And the long-term chart does look a little bit like a pump and dump. It's interesting to note that the number of buyers and sellers is almost equal today. So it's simply people taking profit. The sell volume is higher than the buy volume. It's not necessarily more people getting out. The people that sell simply move more money. Now let's figure out how much of this price action is natural or how much might be manipulation. We don't get this answer from the website. The website is pretty useless. So is the white paper, by the way. But the on-chain metrics are useful. We've got 6,000 holders roughly on the Solana chain. And that compares to, interestingly enough, 11,000 followers on Twitter. So this doesn't necessarily look like a natural number, right? How is it possible that there's more followers on Twitter than there is people that bought the token on chain? The number of Telegram members is 3,000. That makes a bit more sense. So 1 out of 2 holders also follows the Telegram channel. Now, for any altcoin to long-term appreciate in price, we need to have a growing investor base, right? We need to have more and more people that buy into the token. Thus, I very much like to look at the daily number of new traders versus recurring traders. I look at this metric almost on every video on this channel. Here it is again. On the left side, the number of new users versus recurring users. On the right side, the number of transactions per day. And initially, we had a lot of adoption. We had way more first-time traders than recurring traders up until the 3rd of November. And that's also when the price very quickly appreciated by 1,300%. Now this tends to turn around somewhat. We still see a lot of first-time traders, but we are equaling the number of recurring traders. And of course, if there's more recurring traders relative to first-time traders, and most of those recurring traders are in massive gains, then the selling per seller tends to be higher than the buying per buyer. We now need to see more buyers relative to sellers just to keep the price stable. That's probably one of the reasons for this decline. Now what's interesting is that despite the number of new traders going down, that the number of transactions yesterday peaked. Now we can ignore the latest data point over here because the day has just started. We have seen a lot of transactions yesterday. And who's making those transactions? It's mainly the whales. So on the left side, we see the trading volume in US dollars. On the right side, we also see the trading volume, but here normalized to 100% per day. So what we can see over time is that the large retail wallets, so the wallets that have more than $100,000 worth of the token, they tend to make up more and more of the trading volume. Whereas the wallets that have less than $1,000 worth of the token tend to trade less and less, relatively speaking. And so we can count the number of retail wallets versus the number of whale wallets. And there is still very rapid adoption by retail. On a single day, we see growth of 10% roughly. We don't see this in the number of whale wallets, but we do see more trading volume by the whale wallets. In other words, some whales are probably selling, or some existing whales are dollar cost averaging in, but there are not new whales entering the space. And so here's why I believe it's so important to see more and more new people coming in, to see a lot of small retail investors coming in. Retail investors tend to not take profit that quickly. They tend to simply just buy and hold and potentially forget. Check out the token balance that's held by small retail. It barely goes down. Most of the time it goes up. Medium-sized retail also sees mainly accumulation. There's now $4 million worth in those wallets. Now large retail, of course, also holds more of the token, $18 million worth. But when we look at the whales, their token balance really went down from 95 million to currently 69 million. So the whales are taking profit. That's what's causing this drop. Now, I don't have a crystal ball either where this price is going. What I found interesting though is that none of the wallets that we are tracking in premium, it's more than 400 wallets, bought the token. So this is something very unusual. Instead, we've seen, for example, how the peanut token got bought. That was for 3 cents by CryptoBanter on the 3rd of November. Since then, we are up more than 1,000%. And so here's why. CryptoBanter has 1.1 million subscribers. When they talk about the token, they move the price. And so of course they always buy the token before they announce this on their YouTube or on their Twitter. And so that's why we track those wallets. We've got 33 wallets by Crypto Banter alone. We've got 421 wallets in total that we currently track. And so those are the kinds of tokens that I believe have the most upside. For example, recently I got some feedback by a new joiner. He's already going through the wallet alert channels, through the notifications, and it's already paying off. And so in total, we've got more than 100 tutorial videos. 8 of those videos are just about wallet tracking, on how to find influencer wallets and how to then afterwards also interpret the signals that we get from all of that wallet tracking. We also discuss the different altcoins, when to buy and when to sell in dedicated chats. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like what you see, just message me within the first week and I will refund you 100%. So it appears as if Zerebro is currently a pump and dump by the whales. The whales are definitely dumping on retail, while the number of retail investors still continues growing. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. Helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in premium. Cheers!